I'm Banks.
I'm Josh.
Actually, I'm 1 billion hugs.
I am a freedom fighter. Odd
This is
places is where
going.
we're going.
Where are we going? Viral.
Viral, that way, whatever
Yeah.
that way is. So here's a question for you that I've kind of been pondering. What is the opposite of love?
Mm. Wow. Okay, I'm going to answer this in a roundabout way. I think the opposite of war is creation, and
Okay.
and close to the opposite of love is war. So I'm thinking that destruction would be the opposite of love.
Destruction. Okay, that's interesting. And I've heard people say hate is the opposite of love. That's another one that I've
Yeah.
heard. I've heard fear. I've heard people say the opposite of love is fear. Um, and I was thinking about this, and I'm not sure love has an opposite. What if it's like, so another, here's the question. Love it, think about love like water, right? It's ubiquitous, it's the source of life, whatever you want to call it. Does water, what's the opposite of water?
No water.
Exactly. There is no opposite. See, there's an opposite of wet, which is dry, but there's no opposite of water because it's a thing. And I'm just wondering if love is the same way. Maybe there's no true opposite to love. Maybe either you have it or you don't have it.
Wow, that is very, that's a great place to go. You either have it or you don't have it. Isn't that though what we are in life? I mean, you either have the je ne sais quoi or you do not have the je ne sais quoi. I mean, you have that it quality, that whatever, charisma, or you don't. You have the passion or you don't have the passion.
Well, I think everyone's got the passion of some sort, but I just love though. I just didn't know. I was just wondering what's on the other side of the scale.
Okay,
Now,
okay,
here's the thing.
okay.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, go.
So I was thinking in the absence of love, other things can creep in. Fear can creep in. Hate can creep in. All these things can start filling the void if there is no love. But I'm not sure that doesn't mean it's the opposite of love, does it? I think it just means it's the absence of love is where all these things start filtering in.
Right. So if you look at space, and you can fill that space with whatever you want to fill it with, and if you fill it with love, then it has no room for hate, for jealousy, for
Anger.
anger, anxiety, all these other things, or even, I mean, love. However, I mean, love um, is intertwined with joy and intertwined with happiness and intertwined with what I consider to be powerful states of mind. And this is not mine, this is someone else that has this idea. And it's powerful states of mind are those states of mind that you're creating, you're loving, it's positives. It's like a movie that you see that just lifts you up. A friend of mine, a Blair Witch Project producer, he later in life he said, I want to do positive films. I don't want to do, because he looked at horror films as not positive films. So
Negative.
my point is love intertwines with all these powerful states of being in your brain. Now, if you do not have, if that space is not filled with love or powerful states of being, then you I feel, end up going to primal states of being, which are fear and anxiety and uh, uh, yes, there you go. There's a
Right.
few for you. Jealousy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess if the absence of love, if we had to force it, we could still say the opposite of love is fear, because when you don't have love, then you are probably afraid, or you are probably stressed, or there's these things.
Um,
Um,
I wouldn't go there. I mean, I
no?
really, I think that's a colloquialism. It's just a term that we've thrown in, and I don't think we've thought about it, because fear is by itself. I feel. I don't think that it is the opposite of love.
Okay.
All right. So let's look at fear. What is the opposite of fear?
Well, so I challenge myself, by the way, to come up with the opposite, not of fear, but of hate. Because I always think, because the most universal opposite of love, I think people would say is hate, love and hate, love and hate. So I said, well, I don't think hate is the opposite of love, but I wonder what is the opposite of hate. And I came up with something, self-esteem.
Okay. Okay.
I think self-esteem, if I had to put an opposite on hate, is self-esteem.
Oh.
If you actually love you, if you value yourself, you can't possibly hate someone else.
Or
I think those are,
or
yeah,
hate yourself because you have enough self-esteem. And
right.
self-esteem is actually self-love, I think. You
Hmm.
love yourself, so you're not going to hate yourself.
Right.
Um,
But then you can't hate others. I don't think you can, if you love yourself and value yourself, I don't think you can hate others.
okay, so what about egotism, narcissism, these kind of things, which deal with loving yourself and not loving
No,
others?
no, 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 no. I don't think egoism and arrogance, that's not loving yourself. That's loving an image of yourself. I think it's a little different. That's not true love. If you're that's I don't know where that goes somewhere different for me.
Okay, okay. So because when I look at ego as I get upset because she doesn't like me, and all of a sudden I realize it has nothing to do with her. It has to
Right.
do with me and my ego thinking everybody should love me. Okay.
Right. She just destroyed your self-image. She didn't destroy who you were, who you are. She destroyed who you thought you were.
Yes, yeah, because
That's what ego is.
everybody loves me, you know. Uh,
Yeah.
but however, self-esteem. If I have a high self-esteem, that doesn't mean I have a big ego. That
Correct.
okay, okay, good. Let's differentiate between the two. So what is the difference between the two there?
I think self-esteem is where you see your true value. Ego um, is kind of like a facade. It's kind of like your shell that if you don't have a lot of self-esteem, like true worth, you
Yeah.
have to put out this bravado. You have to put out this facade that you're confident. And that's what ego is. So ego is fake. Self-esteem is real. That's how I see it.
Okay, okay. So self-esteem being the opposite of hate, correct? Because you cannot have both at the same time. Just
I don't think so. This is my quandary. This is what I was trying to work through in my brain. But I think if you truly have self-esteem, if you truly believe and you're confident in yourself and you love yourself, how could you hate another person? How could you project that? See, if you project anything, it's going to be love. People project hate because they hate themselves. They project hate because they're angry at themselves. They project hate because they're insecure about themselves. That's where stuff comes from.
right,
Hate comes from within.
right. Okay,
So
okay.
that's my theory. I don't know.
I like it. I mean, yeah, I like it. I mean, okay, all right, all right. So let's peel this back a little farther. How about okay, so you have hate, you have love. What about like jealousy? Let's go relationship wise. Jealousy. What is that? That is that is your self esteem is being low.
Well, if you want to go back to the root of jealousy, it's insecurity. That's all. It's your own insecurity.
Okay,
Uh, yeah.
okay. So wait a minute. So love, the opposite of love is insecurity.
Opposite of love is insecurity. Maybe, or maybe that's one of those things that creeps in when there isn't love. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, that space has to be there. So, however, when you are insecure, then you have self-doubt. You
Right.
do not have self-esteem or high self-esteem. You,
You have big ego, jealousy,
yeah.
fits of rage, all those things. Cats and dogs living together. Yeah.
Fits of rage. So Josh, and I'm just going to detract just for a minute. You have your cat, and sometimes your cat hangs out with you on your right shoulder, and she like purrs, and And she's not there right now. I just want you to know.
Oh,
So
okay. I just wanted to check.
when you talk about cats and dogs, I mean, does she live with a dog, or is there dogs in the house too, or no?
No, no, 3 cats.
Okay, all right, all right. So when you say dogs and cats, you're using this idea that dogs and cats don't get along.
Right.
All right.
So, yeah, or maybe I'm talking about the weather because sometimes it can rain cats and dogs, but I really don't know half the time what the hell I'm talking about.
I do know that I'm a billion hugs,
And I am a freedom fighter.
and this is Odd Places going
Viral
viral.
in a good way.